And welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am the professor, along with my co-host, Tina. How are you doing tonight, Tina?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you sound sexy.
And so it goes.
I know. And so it goes. We thought we'd have a little fun show today. We're going to do one on friendships and what they are in today's day and age, and, well, how ours are. And I know you have a ton of friends. So yours is a little different than mine. I think I have a lot of acquaintances, but I have a few friends. I think in today's day and age with work, a lot of people don't hang out with people from work. It's just it's a different thing. I guess when I was younger, I probably did it a little bit more, but today's day and age, I think with, everyone has relationships or has this or has that. So when you do see people from work, it's not very often. It's something very small. What do you think makes a friendship work or fail these days?
It could be anything that could make it fail. You could have a difference of opinion these days and it could fail. You could do something that is really wrong in the other person's eyes. I mean, it really doesn't take much. I think it's a matter of perception between the two friends as to whether it's going to work or not. I know for me, my friends we're at a point in our life where we're not allowed to judge each other. We may have opinions, but we're not allowed to judge, and we encourage any and all madness. And that's kind of a rule for me. I think that it's okay for people to do things that may not be the right thing in my eyes, but I always tell them I'll pop some popcorn, put my feet up and watch them go through it, because it's going to be a lesson. And just not judging them to the point where they feel like I'm against them, it works.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I do my best not to base my friendships on morality, because if you do that, you won't have many friends.
I always tell my friends, I am no one's moral compass, so feel free to do their own thing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think you're right, though, in today's day and age, with you make a wrong post, you comment on somebody's post, you do something wrong, literally just by saying one word, and they block you. People don't even talk anymore about it. They just block you and you never hear from them again.
You never know what's even going on.
It's crazy shit. Like, seriously. Like I had a friend of mine who was a wrestler from Vegas, and we were talking blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't know, something, and literally just disappeared off my Facebook. Bing, all gone. So I think it's just, we live in a bizarre, people don't even tell you they don't want to be your friend anymore.
Well, nobody has a backbone anymore to be able to own what they do and how they feel. Like, everybody throws stuff out, and then, oh, you're a bully, you're a mean girl, you're a Karen, you're this, you're that, instead of just saying, maybe they're right about me. You know, maybe I am what they're saying, and looking within. That doesn't really happen much anymore.
No, I agree. And I think that, look, we all judge to some degree.
Agree.
But I don't know. I guess I just don't care. Like, I don't care enough to look at whatever you're doing and go, yeah, I don't want to see him anymore. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, I might not agree with who you are as a person, but we like hockey. So we talk hockey, and I go my separate ways.
That's more a guy thing, though. Girls are not that nice about it. Girls make a big deal. You have to be on the similar or the same page most of the time in order to stay friends with the group. that for me is really difficult because all of my friends are very strong-minded individuals, and all of them have a very strong opinion. And I'm just the one herding the cats. Like, I'm just the one, like, I'm okay to let everybody be different and have their opinions. And I just like to sit back and hear everybody. I like the banter. I like what they're saying. I like looking at different sides of the same coin. And yet it makes people really angry.
And yes, very angry. I mean, to the point that people talk behind people's backs. You know, it's definitely not the same as it was when we were younger. I mean, I think that people were probably the same then. It just wasn't as out. Like now, it's like, again, you say one wrong thing and they'll throw the word bigot at you like it's the thing to do. It's like, well, you know, maybe you don't know me, or you don't know my past, or you don't know who I know, or whatever. No one wants to dig into that anymore either. They just don't care.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times it's just the simplest of disagreements. Like, it really shouldn't be that offensive, but a term offensive or offended makes me angry in its own way, because everybody uses it. Like, how weak are you that you're so offended by what I just said? That drives me crazy. I don't like that.
Offended to the point of not wanting to talk to you after you've been friends for 10 years.
Offended at all? Like, really? Why would you have such a feeling of a negative emotion to the point where you're offended? Really? Like, you can't just look at a person and go, that's not right. Like, you don't need to get offended. You don't need to get butthurt. You just need to call it what it needs to be. If you need to say something, but get offended. Really?
I will say that it's very, very, very hard to offend me. Like, you'd have to work at it. You'd have to really work at it. Yeah, you're right. I don't get offended. I just disagree. And I'm okay with disagreement. I mean, that's part of life. We're going to disagree, but then I agree to disagree.
Yes. You can let it go.
Let's go. Okay. Well, you know, you can believe that, but it's not how I feel. And if you have to understand that this is how I feel, and my point of view is always going to be this, it's not going to change. Rarely. I mean, you could change my mind, but you better work at it. And a lot of people don't want to put in the work to try to change your mind. They just go,
because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to change your mind. Like, let's be honest. I've been on the opposite side of those conversations. They take some work.
And that's very true. But I think that that's us as people. Like, when you dig in, you dig in. If it's a surface issue, you're going to go, you know, I can make it work. I don't know. I think that it's sad to see friendships fall apart over
a disagreement.
Simple things. Simple disagreement at that. Not even like, you know, again, who you vote for.
Right. Don't talk about that.
Yeah, you can't. No, but you're right. We're at that point. Don't talk about that.
Don't talk about that.
And it's like serious too. Like, people will come up to you and literally friends will go, hey, whatever you do, don't talk about this.
I'm that person. I do that all the time.
Yeah, because you have to, because you're trying to keep the room from exploding like dynamite. You know what I mean? Like, and we all have that friend who's the fuse. They'll they walk in and you go, holy shit. Okay.
They just blew it up.
Yeah. Or you have to end up sitting next to them. because when they start saying something, you got to be all like, hey, listen, man, let's not do that, because this is not
the place.
Yeah, this room's pretty good. Like, you know, you guys got a couple of drinks in you already. Let's just chill out. And like, look, we all do that, but now it's to the point where, like, they'll find something out that person said 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, that, Martha said that this guy did this, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, when did they say that? Oh, they said that like 2016. You're like, woman, that was 4 years ago. Like, have you asked them how they feel now? Well, no.
Right.
Well, why don't you do that first before you start pointing fingers at everybody?
That's exactly what I was saying the other day. People hold grudges for so long it's outdated. It's
Yeah.
outdated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like still being mad at somebody from high school.
Mm-hmm.
30 years later, you're like, hell, why should don't even know you. I'm not even the same
Right?
human being I was that long ago. I mean, I had a friend, a girl that I dated in 11th grade,
Ooh.
get a hold of me like, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. She lives in New York now, and was like talking about our relationship in 11th grade. And I was like, you understand that I'm not that person anymore. I'm nowhere near that human being. So you can talk about the past in a great way, but like, we're friends now. I don't see you that way. I have lived this life.
Time's
And
passed.
and she got ass hurt over it. I'm like, you have no clue who I am or my situation that I'm in or blah, blah, blah. So I just think that we have friends that still think the past is the past and don't understand that we've changed. Or if you haven't seen them for 2 years because you've been locked in your fucking house, you're not the same after this nonsense either. So I don't know. I think that friendships should be about being your friend, whether you believe in everything or not.
Absolutely. They absolutely should be. If you want to have a good friendship, it's got to be that way.
So speaking of good friendships, what is your longest? And I know that that's kind of a loaded question because, and I mean like longest real, like deep friendship, because we've all known people for a long time. So like, cause we're older. So I got to be careful about how I phrase that question, but what do you think is your oldest, and I mean tight friendship? How long is yours?
That would be a guy that I lived with in the same apartment building when I met when I was 2. And we have over the years been very close, and then we grow apart, and then we come back together, and our parents stay friends. And that's been going on since I was 2. Let me see. One of my closest friends that I'm friends with, that I go to lunches and I see all the time, and I tell things to, I've been her friend since I was in the 8th grade. And she's one I talk to, gosh, a few times a week. We send dirty texts. We do, I talk to her often. Also, her husband, I've been friends with since 18, separate from them being a couple. So that's a long time too.
Yeah.
I still go back to El Paso to see friends that I met when I was 18. And now it's their kids, their grandkids, their whole families I go to see, because we've been friends that long. It's turned into another family unit for me. So
did I meet one of those the other night?
you did.
That guy was super cool.
He came out from El Paso just to be at my birthday. Yeah.
I felt bad for him at the end of the night because it was like 12:30 and I was in the living room trying to leave because it took me an hour and a half to leave because of people. Yeah. And I talked his ear off with one of your female friends out in the living room. I felt so bad. When I got to the car, I was like, yeah, I probably should have left an hour ago. And I just kept talking and kept talking and kept talking. And I didn't even know him, which is even funnier.
Yeah, he's super cool. But I've known him. He was 16 when I met him, and I was 18, and we are still friends. I know his kids and his grandkids, and they've come out to visit. I'm good friends with his girlfriend. They come out to visit here. I go back there all the time. I stay at the house and everything. But he came out for my birthday, which I thought was super cool because he hadn't been out on his own here in I don't even know how many years. So he got to connect with other friends that he knew here. But yeah, and then one of my friends that lives back east, I've known her since I moved into our house, which we did it when I was 5 years old. She's she's been a friend for 45 years. Holy cow.
Wow, 45.
Yeah. So I
Shit.
have a lot of friends that a girl that came to my birthday party this last weekend, I started first grade with her. It's amazing how well, and again, all the social
Wow.
media helps you to stay in contact or to get back into contact, but that's a long time.
45. Wow. I thought I was going to trump you too.
No,
45. That's amazing. That's a long,
but then
long
my
time.
my oldest was since I was 2 years old, and we've done a lot of things together over the years, and our parents would get together. So that's a long one too. 48 years.
That's cool. Like mine is long. Mine's sixth grade. So it's about 37 years.
Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, last year, elementary, all junior high, all high school. And then many years, I ended up being his best man at his wedding about 3 years ago. If you can believe this, he waited until he was 46 or 47 to get married. Never got married the whole time.
Smart man.
Yeah. I mean, I think looking at it from that point of view, he did the right thing. He waited until he found the right person, and they are perfect for each other, which is great because
Nice.
that's hard enough to do in the real world. But I think he also stumbled along the way. And here's the funny thing. Speaking of friendships, I think all the people that he dated he has no friendships with.
Wow.
Yep.
That's another thing. Most of the people that I've dated, I remain friends with.
And that's hard.
It is hard.
I've again, I think the people that I've dated are more acquaintances.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like, will I talk to them? Yes. Do I go out of my way? No, but I think again, we've all moved on over something. So like some of these people are married and got children and have lives. Like,
Right.
Like it's not like I'm, out, gallivanting around trying to make friendships with people I dated 25 years ago. But I think that is definitely, part of it, having a good friendship, which goes into my next question, male or female. In your case, since you have way more, what would you say your percentage is to friends and longevity friends? Like, do you have more male friends than female, or do you think you have a pretty good balance of that?
I think I have a really good balance of that. I was thinking, okay, let's do a cross section, pick a situation. Oh, the party. There are like the kids that we grew up in the neighborhood with that I would say are mostly my brother's friends. If one of us had to take them, it would be my brother. But they were at my party and they grew up with us and we were together all the time. And I picked them up when they were drunk. And, it's just, I've been friends with them for years. So there's that group. And then there's my married couple groups. And I would say that my married couple friends, I'm just as close with the guys as I am the girls. I worked really hard to have a individual relationship with each and every one of them. So, but then I got my girls too, and you can't beat, I have a really good kind of large group of women that I'm friends with and that I see all the time. So I don't know. I think I'm pretty balanced. Friends are friends. I don't really pick them. We kind of just find each other.
Yes. But I think in today's age, not counting you, because I kind of know your situation where you are who you are and you probably don't morph into what a spouse or a boyfriend would like to be. You're like, these are my friends. He's male. I don't care. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, I get that. If you're a friend, you're a friend. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't discriminate, but I also wouldn't be with somebody that can't be cool with that. It's got to be somebody that would trust me, because I don't think that I could live in a situation without my friends, and I don't think I could be any different than I am without them, or if I were to see them, you know what I mean? I, at this point in my life, am going to be the way I am with you. Every time I see you, I'm going to throw my arms around you. Hey, how are you? And that's just going to be how it is. And if somebody doesn't like that, if you don't like the way I act, you shouldn't be with me anyway.
Correct. I just think knowing other friends who've gone through situations where they have a female friend who's rather close, their spouse freaked out, like to the point of like, you can't talk to them ever again. It's like, wow, and nothing happened. It just, and there's always going to be jealousy within something. There's jealousy within male friends that, you have, and you're a man, like you're my best friend. Someone could go, why do you hang out with him all the time? Hey, I'm my best friend. Well, yeah, but you're with me now. Well, yeah, but that doesn't change that he's my friend. It just changes how we see him. We see him as a couple now, or I do go and visit him by myself. It's okay for me to visit him. He's not going to get me in trouble.
And again, can he really get you in trouble? You're going to do what you're going to do anyway. Nobody should. You shouldn't be judged for your friends. It's what you do. It's your actions. Like, just take responsibility. And if you're with a woman that is that insecure, first of all, good luck to you, because it's not going to work forever. But second of all, like, put your foot down, be a man, and tell her to shut up. Seriously.
Yeah, and I think you're right. You're responsible for your own actions at the end. Even if your friends are insanely wild, and we all have those.
Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, but at the end, you still decide what happens to you at the end. Again, it's the peer. There is no such thing as peer pressure. That doesn't really exist. If you're a strong-minded person, you're going to go, no, I'm good. And they're going to go, no, really? And you're going to go, no, really? I'm pretty good. So, but I think that like I have a small group of friends. And I think that I would say mostly male, with a very close group of females. Like my female friends, I can talk to about anything. You don't say. Yeah, exactly. So like, but see, that's important, because like and I know it's going to come off sounding like really bad, but like a lot of my female friends, I would hate to say that I'm not attracted to, or it's just different. They're my friends, and they've always been my friend. And I know that in dire need of something, I can go to you guys and say, this is what's going on in my life from your perspective. What do you see? And that's important, because I don't think I'm really like that with my male friends. My male friends are friends that were wrestlers or hockey players or whatever. Like, and my camaraderie with them is tight, but it's still not personal based. I don't talk to my male friends a lot about what's going on in my life.
I get that. You definitely pick your audience with your friends. I mean, there's some friends that I could tell like things that I don't even want to say right now. And then I've got other friends that they're never going to hear about that, but I've got something else to say. I've got something else to share. You kind of pick your audience, and you know what friends can handle what topics.
That's a brilliant thing you just said. I think you hit the nail dead ass on the head, that you pick your audience. Oh yeah, absolutely. There are people that and they're not, if I look at my friends across the board, they're all pretty solid people, but there's some of them I could say, no, bitch, like you can't judge because I'm not judging you. So come on, come back to me. Just hear what I'm saying, and let's just be friends. I can't do that with everybody, but the ones that I sound off the most
are those type of women that I could call bullshit. We can move on. There's no hard feelings, and we're supportive of each other. Yeah, you pick your audience. You also know that there's certain times you shouldn't talk to. I don't like to talk to one of my married friends about my divorce, because sometimes she will look at her life like, yeah, I'm going through that too. And I don't want to be the influence that gets her, caught up in that. And I was like, no, this isn't about you. This is about me. I know you got a problem with your husband and you're frustrated with something, but reel it in. Let's talk about it like it's a problem, not like you're looking at the end of your marriage. Like, let's keep it in perspective. And that's really hard to do sometimes.
I agree. And it is. And I hate to say that it's the me, but in your case, you're right. You have to reel it in and go, unfortunately, this is about me, because I'm asking you to see my situation. Because you're right. You can influence somebody to go home and be like, yeah, I'm done. You're like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I was saying that I was done. Like,
yes. This is what's bothering me, not what needs to be bothering you.
Yeah, it's almost like saying, be a friend and listen, because I need that.
Yes and no. I just don't ever want to be, the responsible for somebody not trying, because I really did in my marriage. I really did try. We both did. I was married to a man that had qualities that were superior in so many ways. And he and I are still trying to be friends to each other. It's not easy going through a divorce. We're mid-divorce trying to be friends. Like, just keep that in your head. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's crazy. And yet we value each other enough as people to try this. Not that it's easy, but this is what we're trying right now. But in talking all the stuff that comes up and trying to deal with it, my friends want to take my side. So they want to hear more. So I give them more. But when I give them more, then they're in that mindset that men are asses or whatever, because we could all get on the bandwagon and, push the bus ourselves. Like, let's be realistic. We could do that. Right. But I always try to say, wait a minute. Your guy makes you happy. He does this and that for you. And I try to tell her it's okay. She doesn't need to empathize with me that way. It's okay to commiserate differently.
Yeah. Be a friend.
Yeah. Same thing. Like when my mom passed, she's like, I don't know what to say or how to help you. And I said, I don't want you to know what this feels like. You don't need to feel guilty or feel bad. Like, be happy that your mom's still there. Please be happy. Like, so I think that as friends, we have to teach our friends how to work best with us and try to also work with what's best for them, instead of, oh, you didn't do it my way, so you're wrong, or I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's a dance that I have to constantly do with every single one of my friends, and I give them the attention that they require as much as possible. And I try to be the best that I could be to them, but would they say that I'm enough or that I've done enough? I could say probably every one of them said that I could have been there more, but you do the best you can. It's all a matter of perception. But you really do, at the end of the day, what I do for my friends is tell them how much I love them. I hug on them. I was like, I love you if I get off the phone with them, even if they don't do it back. It's not about what they do back. It's about, if I were to die tomorrow, did I tell them what I wanted them to know? And ultimately, it's like, I love you. And I tell them. And I was grateful that my husband allowed me to be that way with everybody.
So going on that, and this is a very simple question, but it's not a simple answer. What do you think makes a good friendship? And like I said, that's a very subjective, but
for me, I love a sick sense of humor. I like somebody that could not judge me, but could hear everything that's sick and twisted about me and maybe laugh it off because, let's face it, I'm not always going to say the right thing. Somebody that you just want to, you could just sit on the couch with and go, man, life is tough right now. And I need a drink. If you could find people that you could just be yourself with, I think that makes the best friendships.
I would say almost 100% of that. It's hard to find friends who try to understand who you are as a human being. Because we're all bizarre in our own special way. Humor is mine because I do my best to find the humor in everything. So I generally find myself surrounded by people who have a sick sense of humor or has a similar sense of humor. I like people who aren't afraid to listen. Like having a friend who is there when you're at your downest, and I mean just nothing is going right, to go, this is all my crap, I'm gonna throw it on the table, and your friend goes, it's really not that bad. It could be the worst shit in the whole world. and sometimes it's nice to hear that it's really not that bad, don't worry about it. And the next time you talk to them, they might go, oh yeah, it's horrible, but I just didn't want to tell you then because I knew you were in a bad place. That's a friend to me. It's saying, I'm here for you. I'm listening and don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. But they might say it a different way.
Yeah. I think you have to take people for who they are and not have all the expectations or expect them to be perfect, because nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Geez, that's really? Yeah. None of us. Not one single person.
I kind of like my friends a little bit of a mess. I don't like them. If they're perfect, they're not my type of people.
No. Well, yeah, I don't want to have to shine their perfectness up every time I see them.
Yeah, no.
I want to put a little Band-Aid on the bullet hole and go, don't worry about it, bro. It's going to be fine. Yeah. I know you're bleeding out, but you're going to be fine. Here's we'll kind of wrap it up with this question before we end up finishing up. How do we keep our friends in this day and age with all the nonsense that's going on? Again, we're just as prevalent to social media and politics and religion and this and that and morality, and you do this and I do that. How do we keep our friends in the same group without losing them these days? And I say that from your standpoint and other people around you, people's kids, blah, blah, blah. What would you tell somebody? This is how you can keep a good friend.
I believe that you keep a good friend by not judging them, by trying, like you said, to understand them, by picking up the phone, even if it's once a year, and saying, hey, how's it going? Like you have to keep in touch. You have to, no matter how long it is, if you want that friendship, you pick up the phone and you call, or you write, or you send a freaking smoke signal. But friendships only work if you put time and energy into them.
Yeah, friendships are work, just like relationships are work.
Absolutely.
Your friendship is only as good as you're willing to make it, I think. Within the what we were talking about of how to keep it in today's day and age, it's difficult. You have to work and understand that people aren't going to think exactly like you are. And as soon as you know that, you're either going to have a friend who understands you, or you're not going to have a friend anymore. We're just in that world now. And I think that being who you are will either weed out the people who don't want to be your friend, and it will always bring the people who are your friends towards you.
Yeah. I think that people come in and out of my life for different reasons at different times. And it could be a long time span in between talking to somebody or seeing someone. But I noticed that that if I always put the good in when I was with them, that it was easy to pick up right where we left off. So I think it's just trying to let the other person know that they are worth something to you and that you do appreciate them and you do value them. And it shouldn't be all that hard if you really like them as people. It should be easy.
Yeah, well, you pretty much, I think, wrap that up. That almost sounds like a final thought. I mean, I won't even say anything on top of that. I think that's a final thought for me. You've pretty much encapsulated how to keep a friend or how to keep friendships going.
Look, it's not easy. I mean, relationships are always difficult, but nothing in life that's worth having is easy.
There you have it. I think we'll end the show on that actual quote. I think that's a perfect quote for today's show. And I'll thank you for your friendship. I think we've been through a lot of things together over the many, many years. And you've always been there when I needed to really say something. And I think that's important.
Oh, I was the one that made you start talking. So on that alone,
I know.
Because you were not a talker before me, and I'm so sorry that I opened
go figure. Look at me now.
I like it.
All right. Well, on that, we're going to say if your friends are upset at you or your friends love you to death, just make sure you always tell them, don't get this twisted. We're friends. We'll see you next week for another fun show. Thank you, Miss Tina. We'll talk to you later.